Next on tonight's agenda is a Discovery Community School presentation, and that's going to be done by Tammy Wilson, Principal.
Good evening, Chair Dahlgren, Superintendent Jett, members of the board, and executive directors. Thank you for inviting me this evening to share the wonderful things that are happening at Discovery School. It's an honor to share the wonderful things. I'm going to start with our video that Danny Frost had come to Discovery to film.
At Discovery, we prepare our students to be successful by working collaboratively to provide experiences
that are rigorous and culturally relevant to students,
and brings out the strength of all students,
to promote their high intellectual potential. Our students are empowered by having opportunities for self-directed learning, being confident with challenges through a growth mindset, and celebrating their successes.
I love my teachers and my staff because they never give up on me. I love my teachers and my staff because they treat us all the same with respect and kindness.
I love my teachers and my staff because they always tell us to make good choices.
At Discovery, we strive to ensure that our students are prepared to learn so that they can be prepared for their futures. We incorporate meaningful, brain-based movement into our day. And in the primary grades, that includes utilizing the Smart Room. In this space, students are active, participating in meaningful and intentional, playful activities that develop and enhance their visual perception, eye-hand coordination, and their fine and large muscle skills so that they can be prepared to learn how to read, write, and to achieve academic success.
Recently, we've been collaborating and co-teaching with the classroom teachers. When we plan and prepare, they bring the content and grade level standards to the lesson, and I bring the language teaching strategies. Our results have been amazing. Last year on the MCAs, we had 11% gains in readings for our language learners here at Discovery. We're very proud of that.
One of the things that we're really proud of here at Discovery is that when our students come in the building each morning, they're greeted by staff and teachers that really wrap around the whole child. We are considering the cognitive development, the physical development, and emotional development of our students. We're doing this by diving deeper into the work of Dr. Becky Bailey in her work in conscious discipline, and the professional development around that work and self-regulation is happening side by side. Our teachers and our students are learning about this together simultaneously.
As a member of the leadership team, we work really hard to empower each other, to empower our students. And one of the ways that we focus on empowering each other is by providing staff development for our teachers here. So it's teacher-created professional development for teachers. And that empowers us to collaborate together, to look at the needs of the students that we have in order to help them get the best instruction possible. So the coding of the robots is really empowering them, letting them know that, hey, I can control something by putting my thoughts together to have it do something. And just the faces that they have after it's completed is very rewarding, that they are empowered and they are capable of putting things together.
United Way is here at Discovery to support our families and empower our families. We do that by connecting them with a lot of resources that are available in the community.
It gives me goosebumps to be able to see the students coming in with their parents and how proud they are to show their parents the different activities that we're doing at school.
I'm teaching the kids to learn their own voices and develop their own projects. So it's their student voice and their student choice. Part of that is allowing them to be differentiated They're reaching things at their own level. They can do projects drawing or painting or collage or whatever their passion leads them. And they're also being able to reach all of the standards in their area, but still hitting that target.
Discovery proud. Discovery proud. Discovery proud.
Discovery proud! Discovery proud! Discovery
So I'm going to begin by reading the mission statement, and I want to read this because it embodies what we value at our school, and I expect this will be evident as what we do at Discovery as we wrap around the whole child. Discovery Leadership Team has developed a target page, which is a one-page document that states our school goals and strategies around instructional improvement. So our goal number 1 is learning content, mindful lesson planning through a culturally equity lens. Our leadership not only recently updated our target page, but they also did a professional development with all of our licensed staff to make sure that everybody knows what direction we are going and we are all going in the same direction. Our staff leads our professional development, which is in line with our target page. Although extended day planning has ended, teachers recognize the value of planning lessons, and our teams continue to meet weekly to plan their lessons. Rigorous and intentional instruction is differentiated to foster all types of talents, helping all children grow in their learning no matter where they are at in their skill acquisition. Culturally responsive learning opportunities are provided, which allow for students to share experiences to enhance their own learning experiences. This is a picture of one of our teachers at Quarry Park. Our teachers chose a science standard and created lessons at the park using technology. Our primary teachers developed the lesson using Book Creator, and our intermediate teachers created a movie trailer to present their lessons to their colleagues. Teachers use inquiry-based instruction to deliver excellent standards-based curriculum for a well-rounded education, grounded in discovery and hands-on learning. Students use creativity to solve problems and find solutions to challenges. We also believe in creating a love of learning. This young girl is engaged in flashlight reading, which is very motivating, and which in turn increases her stamina, which is her time spent on reading. Our students are also motivated to increase their fluency, and they present in front of their peers as they engage in readers' theater. Our 5th grade students are also reading buddies with our kindergarten students as they develop level 1 and 2 questions that they had learned through AVID to ask the kindergarten students. We have bilingual paraprofessionals to support academics. As I look at the demographics at Discovery, 59% of our students are Black, 20% are white, 15% are Hispanic, 5% are Asian, and 1% are American Indian. 54% of our students are EL learners. Most of our EL students are Somali, and many others speak Spanish. We believe it is important to validate the home language while building academic language. These are 2 students coding in kindergarten. The boy is a navigator and the girl is the driver. So he explained what she should do to run the program, and she was quite excited when it worked. So our students in kindergarten through 5th grade engage in coding lessons. Students communicate with each other and collaborate as they enter a set of directions, telling the computer what to do and testing their ideas. They need to be precise in order for it to work properly. Sometimes it doesn't work and they need to go back to square one and work through the steps again. Coding teaches our students perseverance as they need to use critical thinking and problem-solving skills. We recently received a W.K. Kellogg Foundation grant, which we will be using for the next 3 years. This expands our co-teaching down to preschool. We also receive additional support through co-teaching and our equity work. We will also increase our family engagement through the next 3 years as well. We added an additional preschool classroom this last year, and the result, more of our kindergarten students are coming to school more prepared academically and socially. Our second goal on our target page is learning impact, ongoing analysis of assessment through a cultural equity lens. And if you look at those boys, that is why we do what we do. This is a 5th grade STEM activity with students and their parents where they were learning about surface tension. The combination of an excellent science, technology, engineering, and math education combined with a rich arts education helps our students develop into innovative leaders essential to a global society. Having fun and celebrating is important. By celebrating positive student behavior, we find our students responding by engaging in positive behavior. As I looked at trend data, in 2016, 75% of our students had 0 to 1 behavior referrals. Last year, it was 86%. And so far this year, 91% of our students have had 0 to 1 behavior referrals. Students receive U-count slips for displaying expected behaviors of being respectful, responsible, and safe. One student is chosen from each class to be Student of the Month and eat pizza with the principal. Our students are so excited about being recognized. I've heard more than once, "This is the best day of my life." We have data-driven instruction. This is a picture of a data wall from a teacher talk. We have teacher talks 3 times a year where each teacher looks at and analyzes the data of each individual student. They know each of their students on a deep level, and discussions are centered around academic, social, emotional, and behavior needs. Our teachers also meet with their teams twice a month in data teams as they analyze data and use that to drive instruction. We believe it's important to set student goals. During goal-setting conferences, goals were set for each student with parent involvement. Parents know their child the best, and they share the child's strengths as well as areas of need, and their teachers listen. The conference also helps to release any anxiety the students may have about what to expect when they get to school. Every student at Discovery from kindergarten through 5th grade has a goal. In this picture, a 5th grade teacher is reviewing results from a recent STAR assessment with his student as they discuss his reading goal. And from the looks of it, I think the student's happy with his results. Physical education is not just running and catching. The students are challenged every day to exercise their heart, lungs, and brain. By doing exercises to cross the midline of the body and coordinate the hands and eyes together, the students are connecting the left and right side of the brain to create memories. Our SMART room has expanded to 1st grade this year. SMART stands for Stimulating Maturity Through Accelerated Readiness Training. The movement activities enhance students' large and fine motor skills, visual perception and eye-hand coordination, and auditory skills, all necessary tools for learning to read and achieving academic success. We participated in the National Walk to School Day in October because exercise before school is great to get the blood flowing and get fresh oxygen to the brain. This gets the students ready for learning. So our third goal on our target page is learning context, creating a culturally conscious professional community. We value all members of our school and larger community. All staff, students, family members, and the larger community have a voice, and they are encouraged to engage in courageous conversations to create a caring and culturally conscious community. This is one example of how our families are involved in school. Our orchestra students show family members how to play notes on their instruments during an orchestra concert. We value our families, and we are proud of the fact that they are highly involved in their children's education and participate in school activities. We also have a partnership with United Way. The goal of our partnership is to remove barriers by connecting families to resources to combat homelessness, offer opportunities for financial stability, access to food, provide community building, and partnering to provide quality out-of-school time. The outcome will be improving the lives of our families and providing ultimately student success. We recently hosted a Chamber of Commerce meeting at Discovery, having over 100 attendees. During this meeting, we had the opportunity to discuss our United Way partnership, and business leaders have offered their support as well. We had our first family bingo night that was sponsored by United Way, Title I, and Discovery, and we had close to 500 participants in this event. And because of our United Way partnership, as well as partnering with area businesses, the police department, we are able to offer academic programming in reading, writing, and math. The summer camp goes for 8 weeks this summer. We also are partnering with Great Theater for students to explore performing arts, participating in a play. There will be photography classes, partnering through Kids Stop and offering additional enrichment activities. We are also partnering with Waite Park Police Department to offer a soccer program as part of the items that we offer. And I want to share this video with you just because I think this encompasses what we're about.
We've got the whole world in our school. We 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 got friends from Africa in our school. We got friends from Asia in our school. We got friends from Mexico in our school. We got the whole world 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 in our school.
Nice.
So thank you for this opportunity to give my presentation. Do you have any questions for me?
Questions? Monica?
I like the song. We got the whole world school. Tell us a little bit about the bingo night. I heard some comments about it. What did you learn that day?
Yes. What we learned is that we weren't quite expecting so many people, since we had close to 500 in attendance, and we have just over 400 students that go to Discovery. So families came out in abundance, and we were very proud of that. And so I debriefed with our partner, with United Way, making sure we expand the space, and we'll do it again end of March. So we're very happy about that. And I was teaching a lot of parents and students how to play bingo that night as well.
Bruce Henches.
Actually, let's start by saying thanks, Tammy, for the great job that you do and for the presentation. A couple of comments, and I have all kinds of questions, but I'll limit them to one or two. But okay. I really think that picture you have there of the two boys hugging each other ought to be part of our brand for the district and part of our logo. That's such a great picture of really what we are, along with the song here at the end. Wanted to ask you a question about preschool.
Yes.
How many sections of preschool are you currently offering at Discovery, and what percentage of your kindergarten kids come in through your preschool program?
We have 2 preschool classrooms, but there's also morning and afternoon for each of those as well.
4?
So it ends up being 4 total. I would say, I don't have the exact percentage, but a lot of our kindergartners are coming from preschool. And we have noticed it makes a world of difference in how they come in prepared for kindergarten. We are currently registering our preschool students to be in kindergarten in the upcoming school year.
Now, the funding for preschool in the school readiness program, which we use to help fund preschool, runs out. Does it run out at the end of this year or at the end of next year? The end of next year, I guess. So it will have to be renewed in the next legislative session, but it will have to be a focus of this district as well as other districts to see that the funding continues. In your data slides, I noticed you had one extracurricular activity with a picture, and that was your student council. Do we offer other extracurricular activities for students at the elementary level at Discovery?
I actually talked to my teachers about that, and with Extended Day, our teachers have been committed after school, and now that we're ending that, I talked to my STEM teacher. We'll have a group of students for STEM. We'll also expand some enrichment activities through the Young Scholars Program as well for after school.
Okay,
so we'll be expanding that this next year.
Okay, we're not doing VEX robotics or anything like that right now, or?
No, it's during the day that we're doing that, but not after school.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bruce Moles.
First a comment, Tammy. I've purchased your book and I've read it. It's really great. Thank you very much. Are you going to write another one?
I am. I'm almost finished the second, yes.
Help me understand a little bit. Tell me again the number of ELL or the percentage of EL learners in your school.
We have 54% EL learners in our school.
54%. And that would suggest to me that they come with all different levels of needs, different ages, and different experiences and exposures.
Yes, you're accurate.
Can you give us a sense of the progress? How do they make different progresses? Are some accelerated and come in and get out of that program and into mainstreaming sooner than others do? And is that a goal, or is that
That's absolutely a goal. We want to move them through so they are out of that program as soon as possible. I am proud of the work that we are doing at Discovery. I consider every teacher to be an EL teacher. And our professional development, our target page is centered around that and around our students.
I've often hear, the reminder that someone that's going to learn a new language, to become fluent in it, is like a 7-year kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Does that hold true for all languages?
I think it depends on the student. That's the average, but we see some students moving through very quickly. They're very motivated, and that's why we have more of the hands-on, the technology project-based, taking the language barrier away. We see our students moving very quickly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jerry.
I'm interested in the summer program you mentioned. You said you have 2 months for 8 weeks.
It's an 8-week program.
And is that a full day program?
Yes, that's a good question. It's a full day program, so half of the day will be academics with reading, writing, and math. The other half will be enrichment types of activities that will include performing arts, visual arts. There will be a soccer program intertwined. There's a science week with STEM activities, just a variety of activities to not only give our students exposure, but also to help them not lose ground academically.
And have you done 8 weeks before? Is this the first?
We have not. This is the first that we're doing it, and we're excited about it.
Because I got this belief that's totally undocumented here, that if you would take kids that are behind because of whatever disadvantage and give them 3 months or 2 months of what you're doing, that in a few years they would make up the difference. And I'm wondering, at the end of this summer, will you have data that will make me look foolish, or
we're going to have data that will make you look proud? How's that? We're very excited about this summer program.
You're going to follow these kids and
absolutely
and get an idea what happens during that 8 weeks, because I think if it does make that difference. If you do, I mean, the theory is what you read from other places that are doing this robustly. I mean, seriously, with professional staff development and high-quality programs and things that stimulate learning through joy and also some hard work, that those kids gain 2 months' worth of time for 2 months of school and don't lose the time, the progress that they would otherwise lose.
Right, and I agree there. They're not going to not only not lose ground, but they're going to gain. We have an excellent curriculum plan as well.
But at any rate, you're going to have some data, and can we...
Absolutely, we will.
Hope to have that data back, because my dream would be that if it does work, that we would put Bruce's legislative committee to work and get some more funding for that, because I think it would really make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shannon.
I'm impressed by the lineup of the summer. It makes it sound really fun, and my kids would want to go to it if they were that age again. How many children are you expecting, and are you offering busing?
Yes, we're expecting between 100 and 120 students, and we will be offering busing.
That's excellent. Then just one last question. Maybe this is for Tammy Deland. Can I view that we've got the whole world video on our school YouTube?
Yes.
That I would be able to find it on there? Yes. Okay. That would be great, because I just logged in and I didn't see it, but I thought, okay, that would be fabulous. I'd like to share that with people.
Jeff.
Hi, Tammy. It's kind of a follow-up question from Shannon's. Out of the 25% of the students that you say are going to attend, what's the barriers for the other 300? Why aren't they attending? Is there something we can do to increase that number? What's your thoughts?
Right. Well, typically it's also funded through targeted services, which are the students that are needed in the academics, but we don't want to turn families away, so we're going to involve whole families and siblings. And so we think that's a manageable number as well, because we are involving Kids Stop and other community members and the police department. So we just think that's a manageable number to start with.
That's
our goal.
Workable capacity?
Yes.
Okay. Monica?
So I want to ask a little bit more about the EL students. Could you talk about what are the different strategies that you use with kids, and maybe I don't know if you have numbers about EL students by grade. I'm interested in knowing in the lower grades, how many students that are EL do you have, and what strategies do you use with more specifically the lower grades?
Okay, that's a good question. And so we do have 54% EL, and that's 54% of our schools EL, so over half of our students are EL, and you'll see that through all of the grades. Strategies that we found that work are co-teaching, because all students are receiving core. Then they're in small group instructions differentiated, and our EL students receive an additional scoop of language instruction. Our teachers are also trained for all, like, SIOP strategies, the different strategies that benefit all students as well. And our newcomer students also have an extra scoop to help support them. We added a lot of, like, some of the strategies are adding visuals. Our EL teachers also co-plan with their classroom teachers. And so they're able to bring that piece in to help, and they have not only content objectives, but language objectives.
Kind of a follow-up on that.
Yes.
How do you assess that, or is any difference between the way that you teach a kid that is coming to first grade, for saying something. So first grade or kindergarten, I'm not sure what would it be, but a kid that comes with a low level of language development, how do you assess that is because of the second language, or so is English, or is language development?
Well, we do have an assessment called Access that we are able to assess the listening, speaking, writing for each of our language learners. So we know exactly how to pinpoint that information. And they have the same instruction as all of the other students with an extra focus on language concepts.
Jerry, follow up.
Well, I was just going to say, we in Achievement and Equity Committee, we work on breaking down data a little more. And you know, I noticed that, as you mentioned at Discovery, the proficiency rate for EL students, free and reduced lunch EL students, is higher than the district average. And you've been growing, I mean, significantly in the last couple of years. The proficiency rate for EL is not the most wonderful way to measure progress, but you know, it's pretty impressive, and the same in math, significant growth. So
if you think back to the target page, everything we do is intentional, and we're looking at the data. We look at individual students, what their needs are, what programming we have in place, and we're always monitoring and adjusting to support our students.
Thank you.
Bruce, maybe I would ask one more follow-up
Sure.
of you, Tammy. Thank you. You had a picture showing a student and a teacher looking at their STAR goals.
Yes.
The progress towards their STAR goals. I think really one of the great things that this district does is that at the start of the year, teachers meet with parent and student and set goals, academic goals for the year, and then they are monitored throughout the year. Can you talk a little bit about how that is working, and are kids achieving the goals that they and their parents feel are important for them? Do we have any evidence or?
Yeah, and I have some anecdotal evidence. Just talking with our teachers, they said students setting those goals has made a tremendous difference because our students are now empowered to reach their goals, and they're very empowered to be part of their education and do better.
Great, thank you.
Mr. Jett.
The one comment I wanted to make was Tammy does a wonderful job, not just in what you've seen today, but in terms of fostering that community and making sure that her students and families feel safe, valued, and the fact that there's a moment in time this year that I haven't shared with the board, but she and her staff were making sure that, because we've had conversations here on the board about students or families that would choose to leave District 742. And one of the things that she did early this year, she and her staff talked to families, and there has been this trend at Discovery as it relates to winter and transportation and things of that nature. And the research that she and her staff did, it made it so that we have approximately 30 families or students that are remaining within the district that had concerns about transportation in the winter elements. And by her keeping track, I know that Mr. Von Korf talked about data. Her and her staff have kept track of data and the rationale and reasoning, and they got to the bottom line of, as a district, we could provide some transportation if we researched it. And it was just a nice job by her and your staff, so I just need to commend you for that and just all that you do. And you hear it from the board, but from us as an administration, just thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.